Hi guys, Mark from the STG68 in France. I'm a French guy, that's why my English is a little bit strange. So, today a word about the Tenacity Db Pro. The DB Pro is the follower from the SC10B. An amazing chassis, super smooth suspension, even if at that time he had plastic shocks. But the Losi plastic shocks are super smooth. I get the SC10B, I did for years ago, and was really just happy with. What I missed there was a receiver box, a real fixed ESC, dust and shred cover on the transmission, because that was the weak point for the truck because of the cage. The stones and gravel comes here in the front, destroy the main gear. It happens many times. And that was all. And the motor was a wrong choice. 3800 kV with this weight and a too big motor pinion out of the box was the failure from Losi. Then they stopped this car and make the Tenacity version, who is super cool because you have a little price. It's a really good car for beginner. It's tough. It has a plastic chassis, plastic shocks, but these shocks and this chassis can hold anything. And now, for a great pleasure, they do with Spectrum, because Horizon Hobby is also Spectrum, and Losi is also Horizon Hobby is also Spectrum. They work tighter together to make us the DB Pro version. You get the Fox edition and the Lucas Oil edition. I personally love the Lucas Oil edition. This is one from a subscriber. Thanks to him we have the truck here. And it just looks beautiful. Man, I love white rims. The suspension out of the box is just perfect. You are a little bit harder in the front as in the back. It feels super smooth, super easy. The tires feels also great for an RTR. Back in the time I had an issue with Losi, not an issue, but I break the front bumper. That's what happens the most on a truck, to hit the front. I want to order it, but with the reference you become the whole, with the part number, you become the whole cage and the whole back. And that's the same thing in the back. If you break here something at the back, you have to get the whole roll cage, and now even the LED light bar is in the same reference, that part number. That means for a little hit in the front who destroyed the front bumper, you have to buy the whole cage. But I think it's really too costful for just change this little bumper here. I hope they will do something. I will mail them to get this bumper apart from the reference, also the back part from the cage. Okay, you can have all T1 option or so, or RPM, but I think that the stock bumper looks pretty cool. Underneath, before we open, you have, because Arma is also in the gameplay with Horizon Hobby, the little parts here to hold the body clips. The body clips are protected by these two parts from the body, so it's really rare to get these clips flying away. That's top. Plastics from Losi, nothing to say, amazing. Aluminium from Losi, also amazing. Underneath we have the wire from the LD. They not do like many other brands a short wire that you must plug and unplug at every time you open the body. You can just flip it easy because the wire goes all through the way to the back, so you can let it in place. You have a Spectrum servo S605. I'm not a lover from this servo, but in 99% from the RTR versions you always have issue with the RTR servos. Hope this will be better. We have the receiver, who is no more like on the Tenacity version in a receiver box. Okay, it's waterproof, but all stones and gravel and water flies out from this tire, go under the body and hits this one. And I can assure you, if you get water here on the pins, you will have receiver issue and you have to stop and dry it to drive again. So personally, if I get one, maybe I gonna get one because I love this truck, I put just easy here a receiver box. Also with the receiver box you have no more wire laying around here, and this is something I like. I like to have a clean interior for my cars. You have the Spectrum ESC, which is nothing other than a hobby wing ESC, but with some changes in the looks, in the color. And I was how to say, surprised that this is not a 3S ESC, this is a 4S ESC, but they take care, do not drive the truck 4S, the motor will not hold 4S. This ESC has also this little wire more with the EC5 system from Spectrum. That means if you take an EC5 battery and an EC5 charger, the charger knows which battery you put on, it knows how you want to load it, knows the highest temperature, the lowest temperature and each cell voltage. This battery can also unload herself when you let it lay around more than 1 or 2 weeks. The battery will automatically discharge herself to storage. That's awesome. Problem is the price. A 3S battery is the price for a 6S battery without this system. Why have the ESC, this wire here? Because it don't charge the LiPo. Maybe from the telemetric system you can get temperature. Clear, you have the voltage. Maybe you can also get the voltage from each cell. That's something I ask you, the freaks, to go to check out, because I'm not an electronic freak. I like to drive in mud and water and snow and have a blast of fun sending my trucks to the moon, and then just clean it and re-drive and re-clean and re-drive and re-clean and re-drive until I break something. I'm absolutely not interested by the electronic stuff in the car. And then we come to something I really like. They take the dust cover transmission from the Tenacity series, put it here in the DB Pro, so we have no more issue with transmission. That's something we would like to see also in our 1/8 scale trucks, buggies, muggies and all other cars. It's clear when you drive on a raceway you have no issue, but we drive for fun outdoor and we have many time issue with gravel and stones getting into our main transmission. This is here covered. I really like it. And what I like the most is the motor choice. They comes here with an hobby wing 2150 kV motor, not more this old toaster from a 3800 kV. That's a super mega motor choice. Thanks Losi and Spectrum from this choice. It's just what we want since beginning. The chassis is a 3mm alloy plate, 6061 aluminium. Also the shock tower, also the shock bodies. You have on each corner counter stroke and tie rod and push rods. You have front and rear sway bar, it's clear, and you have also aluminum alloy arm holder here. The plastic is just so here to provide the X to go out, but it's an aluminum holder. Like the Losi since buggy 1/8 scale since version 2, you get transmission to the right from the car in the back to put the motor and the center diff in the right to have a weight balance between motor and battery. Servo receiver balanced the ESC, and so you have also a middle weighted chassis. This truck drives amazing, flies amazing, it's really smooth to drive. I had really only fun with my SC10B. I had just one issue with a CVD, we lose the axle, but this is something they have changed here. You no more will have that. You have 4 CVDs, you have center dog bones, chassis brace, classic from the cell to the chassis, in the front in 2 parts, and the center bar more from front to rear, screwed in the center, and the roll cage. So this thing will have no flex. This really makes the suspension super effective. The A-arms, the knuckles, the hubs, all plastic stuff from Losi is just in a super plastics. Even in winter I had brake nothing on my truck until the front bumper, but my fault hitting a road sign. This poor little front bumper cannot hold a road sign at full speed. With the old 3800 kV motor I go to up to 90 kilometers an hour from the box with the truck and hit a road sign. So only my fault. If I take one, I will make 2 modifications. I will put a receiver box here, maybe something to protect here also the ESC from things coming to fly from the front tires. And in the summer I can only tell you one thing: put the drivers away to let go fresh air in the truck. And that's all. If you want to see a drive video, go to the old SC10B video which I make. Just keep in mind, with this motor you will have no more heat issue, and you have also a big runtime, that's clear. This year, 2018, we are really happy because we get so much super RTR cars that never before. Since brushless comes out, in the beginning you have transmission destruction, motor was too hot, receiver, ESC destruction, tire explosion and all the stuff since 10 years. And each year, even if many people don't see it, the manufacturer make more and more from this stuff. How to say? I lose my word. In a way that it can handle the more power. Also, they came slightly down from too much power. In the beginning with the brushless was the fever from going too fast. And now they slightly going down with some vehicles and some brands, and we get to a real cool mix. This car is on the market since this is a new one, but the base from this car is since 10 years on the market now. And now after 10 years you get from Losi an RTR with nothing to do until just plug the battery and go drive and have blast of fun and hours of fun without have anything to do on the truck. We get this year the Arma Mojave. Was Mojave, I'm in love with the Mojave. We get this year the 7 Cobra MT, and also in love with this truck. It's an awesome truck. And we get the Tenacity version from the Travis. Also for the price, I would say it's just a super cool beginner car. You have the Arma 3S version BLX, have some issue with gravel and stuff, but it's only small stuffs, but really never before we have in 1 year so much new car coming out with nothing to do until have fun with. Many people sometimes when the truck comes out have only things to, well, they're not happy. They don't love tracks, then hate that one, then hate this one, and they just forget for 10 years ago or 15 years ago when we begin with brushless in your car, we destroyed everything, and no one from us go to the constructor and say, oh no, I put 6S in my Savage Flux and just send my all my differential to the moon. because we know that we have too much power from the truck, but we just want to try it. Yeah, don't forget this. The only responsible for heavy destruction on the truck is the driver. That's you. You have to find the right feeling and the right pressure on the trigger from your radio system to save your car and have the right reflex to let the car land back to the road. Don't over balloon the tires, don't destroy the foam, don't drive into deep water and get full throttle to destroy the tire because it's filled with water. Or if you do it, be aware that you do it. And like when I destroy something, I laugh about it because I'm the destroyer. I do it myself. It's just that something happens, fall from the sky. So, if you have one, tell me what you think about it. If you had the old version and the new version, if you have the Tenacity version and now this new one, Pro version, tell me what you think about it. I know that most of you will be happy with this truck. Okay, for this price you can get a 6S buggy from Arma, Hobao, Team Magic or some other brands. This is only a 1/10 scale, but man, this is the only one who looks so cool. And if you ask yourself the question, yes, you can buy the body and put the body to a stock 1/8 scale buggy. What's cool with 1/10 scale is the weight. You have here less than 3 kilograms and you have the same size than a 1/8 scale buggy. Man, you know what? I'm just going to stop the video and going to order the Lucas Oil version for me. Bye guys.